Couple of years with Kevin, driving them round the arena, wait to go in and go round the arena.
Yeah.
Used to have all the signals equipment on these racks.
Alright. Yeah, not a lot of room in them, is there?
Yeah.
8, 9 o'clock.
Right.
We'll go back to the Whittle.
Ah.
And we'll just throw a tarp over the tank and that'll be it. We're not going to bother.
Could be for sale, Colin.
Oh, could be. Oh,
It's a bit miles period, isn't it? 78 to 80.
That's like the Bond Rolex, isn't it?
Where's his expert?
Shadow feel. Just feel that.
Yeah.
You don't notice the way.
When I get the big race on, I see the difference. It's similar barrel, nice long barrel, but it's the bulk configuration. So you've got the weight investing in.
Still rather have a tank.
yeah.
15.
But yeah.
Early bank to the.
That's War Merit battery cost source. First class, right? First class, War Merit. Okay, I've not got a stage 2.
Yep.
Wartime Sunday show. In 10 minutes we're going to have our first event in the arena, which is a World War II skirmish. set on the eastern front. So we have the Russian forces who are going to attack the German SS who are in the middle of the field.
Yeah, there for the heavy
There will be
cart.
lots of gunfire during this
That's for the heavy
event.
cable, isn't it? Like, comes
There
on
will not be any
bigger,
loud
the other
explosions.
backs I think, field cable.
So if you are sensitive to loud noises, please cup your hands over your ears. Thank you.
Early Banksy there.
Come up to see the first of our battles today, World War II skirmish from the Eastern Front. In the middle of the arena, which will be starting in about 5 minutes. Like I said, there aren't any large explosions in this. This is a purely gunfire only battle, however it will still be loud. So if you are sensitive to noise, please cup your hands over your ears or use whatever ear defenders you have. Please be mindful of your pets if they're nervous.
That bolt is right in the middle.
Yeah.
There used to be a pin in there, and then all that what he had there pushed into it. And if you lost that bit, they made you run around with that thing on your head.
That's no better.
No.
Same with everybody, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First World War, and then they shut it down between wars.
That doesn't mean mess with it.
And these vehicles are amphibious, so when they went on exercise, the squaddies thought it was great fun to remove the bump from their mate's amphibious vehicle, so that when they went into the river, the Stormway started to sink. They've been very active over the past 40 or 50 years, working for the United Nations in Africa, in the Middle East, and so these vehicles are vehicles that we use out in those particular areas. Some of these vehicles we use as gun tractors, some we use as gunships, others.
Just use for training. So later on in the right, so looks for the take like a leaf again. It's really yeah. So yeah, basically landed to the show. We do obviously shows there every year, and the guys started it up. You have to find
There's a gate here, so we need to go. If this starts, this will take up 17 seconds before
Not the easiest to troubleshoot. You don't know.
I've got a burner, propane burner.
I might go right round right.
What do you want? I don't understand why you have to have that all. I don't know why, but the thing is, apparently the Yorkshire went down there.
Yeah.
It's a real privilege.
11. What is it now, anybody? 12 o'clock. 2 o'clock. I've got one.
Seventh of June 1940.
Well, they were designed for market gardening, you know, for small holdings. That's what they designed pre-war for. They just use it as a general talk about. There's one of these in a museum in Holland attached to a hurricane. I've never seen any pictures of being attached to a hurricane. So I just got it as a general tractor to pull rubbish.
The British Army had a fixed turret.
Actually plastic.
It's amazing, yeah.
But they should have charges, to be a main charge in the centre and then 6 charges between the fins.
Right.
And then if you want to shorten the range, you remove 3 charges and fight with the reduced charge. And of course also you can alter the elevation. So
Nice.
The vehicle to look for.
the bands indicate what it's filled with. In this case, high explosive.
Right.
Training rounds of the smoke rounds have different coloured bands or different coloured
So if
bodies.
you're interested in helping an LVT back to running
We need to get some, cloth bags for the charges, I think. Because you should also have a cloth, be a cover on each end. So when you take it out of the tube, you take the cover off the back, which keeps the charges dry, the propellant charges dry. And then when you fire, you take the fuse cover off. Fire
the perfect storm that actually flooded the whole of the East Coast. From the Tyne all the way down to the Thames estuary. There was great loss of life, there was a lot of land where we lived near.
We actually brought 3 of these vehicles back to the UK, and because it was so big, because we were bringing back 25 pound of field guns, radial engines.
discount. Like you've got to
Oh, yeah. That beats the money.
200 metre. Right, Bombin.
Meter.
Fire.
Meter.
Fire.
Meter.
Fire.
Kiss day.
And I said, I'm going to talk about people being massacred and slaughtered. So I'm going to talk about Palestine. And the reason I'm going to talk about it is this vehicle has got a very, very interesting history. One of the vehicles I bought back to Israel in about 1988 is one that I think we brought back about 8 vehicles into insurance.
It doesn't know yet, but is it?
After the Second World War, the American government decided that no electric equipment would be taken back to America. So that was no vehicles, no trucks, certainly no tanks and things.
Make sure I minded my head.
Yeah, well.
They were graded.
You know that bit. Is anyone selling it?
Are those real animals?
Yes. Don't
All right.
Into Land Rovers.
Can I have Benedict? Can I have me fix a Benedict? I don't have a sandwich. Brilliant vehicle, goes well, drives. Popping past us is a replica Stoke 3, which Stoke 3 is extremely short, used as an anti-tank weapon. Self-propelled gun, its actual designation is SPG. So earlier on about the crazy things we used to do. We used to take it on ambulance all the way across Europe, rally it and drive it back and go to work on Monday morning. One of the things that the three of us did, Fish, myself and our daughter Philippa. Philippa was 9 years of age. We went to Finland with the tank museum and we actually helped restore 3 British tanks to running condition for the Finnish museum. So Strategy came up with this idea of the canvas screen which goes all the way around the tank. And the canvas screen is erected by stone. Look at the screen all the way.
So we're going to transport you back to the Russian front, 1944. In the far corner to your left, if you're over at my side of the PA hut, or your right if you're on the other side, you'll see a whole bunch of Russians. In the middle of the field, in the trees where the sleepers are, we have a fixed German position. This is an SS unit, fanatical SS unit. We don't do very many Eastern Front battles, so this is quite a rarity for most of you. The Germans are not going to start opening fire until their commanding officer tells them to do so. You used to get an awful lot of bad punishments for just shooting willy-nilly. So as you can see, the Russians are now moving out from their corner. This will probably be part of the recon unit. A recon unit is actually quite large. You'll have various fast vehicles plus infantry support, occasionally a light tank or two. We do not have any light tanks. So as you can see, the Russian commander's decided he doesn't know where the shots come from, so he split his forces into 2 groups.
Put us in fire,
I was just going to say, don't put us here, we'll get shot.
Because he's not sure of the strength of the Germans, they're going to start advancing slowly. The German commander by this time probably knows they're there. The SS, being very, very well drilled, will not open fire until that German commander decides now's the best time, which will probably be when they get a little bit closer. By this time in 1944, bearing in mind that the Russians had now been fighting the Germans for a good 3 years, at the start of the war they used to just send mass charges in and try and overwhelm. As you can see, now that is an MG42. That is fastest firing machine gun in World War II and can probably get a man in half 500 yards. The problem that Russians now face is they've actually been caught in what we call open ground, which is probably what the German commander was waiting for. There's very little cover out there, so they're having to stick as close to the ground as possible, whereas you can see the Germans have a nice trench. A normal standard tactic for a MG42 position is wait until you either have to reload, or because the gun fires so fast, the barrel overheats rather quickly. The trained German crew can actually change the MG42's barrel in about 8 seconds. That's the 8-second window you can move forward. The MG42 is obviously changing the barrel now. Towards the group on the far side, the group on the left side can move forward. The group that's closest to the PA side, they're using what they call a DP-28 light machine gun. Very, very effective and was used in service well after the war. Now the Russians are going to try and outflank the Germans. The machine guns are used to cover the Russian advance. The German commander has obviously seen the Russian advance, but he's going to wait till they get a little bit closer rather than wasting ammunition. A lull in the back, the German commander is probably hoping the Russians think that the Germans have actually run out of ammunition, so they can then do a charge on the trench. The Eastern Front was quite unlike any other battlefield. It was a war of annihilation. There was lots of hand-to-hand fighting, fixed bayonets. There were very, very few prisoners taken on both sides.
Same interviews on the day that we lived in 1,000 troops. Okay. It's not sustainable.
That's why he's coming to negotiate the table.
Yeah.
So DP-28 looks like it's going to change his drum mag. He's going to be giving covering fire now for what the Russians will probably think will be their final charge to take this position. Refill their ammunition. Russian tactics were actually quite predictable. The problem the Germans had was they just didn't have them. Most of the battles in the Russian front, the Russians normally outnumber the Germans at least 10 to 1. So the Russians quickly decided, okay, the charge isn't working, let's go back.
They've left the bait out there. And,
Germans seem to have held their position. Probably an infantry regiment or 2 or 3. The Germans unfortunately probably won't get very much of anything because at this point the supply lines are being cut, they're overextended, they're losing men, they just don't have all the troops. However, as I said earlier, SS are fanatical, they will fight to the last man. But it looks like the SS troops this year are going to live to fight another day.
Normally toes, but there are, for those of you in the know, if you look over to your right, you'll see it's getting a bit crowded here in the commentary box, but we'll do our best. Thank you all very much indeed for coming. Thank you very much indeed to all the living history groups and the vehicle owners and the various museums, local museums, who contributed to the success of this show. Thank you very much indeed. I'm sure you're going to be very, very pleased with what you see now in this mock battle. Please be aware that there will be some very loud bangs, but these guys are professionals, and they've actually made the bangs in such a way you can actually have a big explosion and not a big noise, and so they've actually turned down the noise a bit. Maybe it should make the, I don't know exactly how to do it. But anyway, the show's about to start, and on the right hand side of the arena we have the Germans, and they have a defensive position somewhere in Normandy. On the left hand side of the arena, on the very far side, we have the Americans, and it's the reconnaissance force who've come in to find out how far the troops behind them can advance, to find out how effective and how deep the German defences are, exactly what kind of equipment that the Germans have. They always say that time spent in reconnaissance is never wasted, and that's absolutely true. So still, they always say that war is always 99% laying about and 1% action and pure hell, which is true. It's like being married. Oh, I've just had my arm twisted. Well, that joke went down well with the people in the... I'm surrounded, I'm outnumbered by women 99 to 1, so they're all still smiling. And so we have to thank this beautiful half track. We have to thank Bruce Compton from the Compton Collection for bringing in 88 and his half track down for everybody to see. Bruce has been one of our steadfast supporters for the past few years, probably 5 or 6 years, and set against the British reconnaissance troops that came in on the left-hand side. Now that the battle has started in earnest, now that the strength of the German opposition is being appreciated, the Germans are sending out the anti-tank guns to deal with the Allied armour, but at the moment the Allies are still relying on light reconnaissance vehicles. They've brought no armour into the arena. But we think that the White Star car coming in now on the left-hand side, it's an armoured vehicle, which at least gives some protection to the Allies. But I think the crew have got a bit too close to the Germans by now.
So as always with these battles, it's true about the fog of war. It's true because we can't see a damn thing from here, so what the troops on the ground would see it's nobody's business. But it would appear that the White Scout car was on fire, been hit, and Dave Regino's in the distance there have been hit, and crews will be wounded and maybe killed. But in the background we can see American armour coming into the battlefield now. This is the American M18 halfback, 18 Hellcat. The problem with the Hellcat is that the stun with its 75mm gun and the distance involved, that stun gun will knock out the Hellcat at least a mile away. And the Hellcat's only got half-inch armour, so you can imagine that it's a risk to win these vehicles. So you can see the American GIs are hiding behind the Hellcat. So the British artillery is firing they're bombing the German rear echelons. Just then the German anti-tank guns are firing back. There's even more Allied arms coming in from the left-hand side. It looks as though the Allies are flying the classic pincer movement, coming around the enemy, either side, and try and get behind the enemy. Yes, the British on the left-hand side, bringing in more tanks. It's very difficult for this position to know whether the incoming is Allied or whether it's German. Into the regard position. The Valentine is attempting a pincer movement around the left-hand side of this fortification. I think that's given us still something to think about. They're moving their vehicle. Necessary precaution. German mortars are now firing at the Allies. Trying to clear positions. The British infantry are coming in to the left-hand side, our left-hand side, in a pincer movement. The Americans are coming along the path. There goes the neighbourhood. And now we have the Hellcat. The German paratroopers are now coming out. Meet the Allied advance. He's taking a chance on the Hellcat. He's going close on that village. There's one. I think that's the Hellcat finished for the day. The stun is actually keeping it in the phase. The American infantry are coming in behind the right tanks and the half tanks on the far side. It looks as though the instrument is working. German resistance is still ongoing. You can see the mortar bombs are exploding on the leading Allied positions. Some of the German positions are now on fire on the far side of the arena. The Americans are closing in on the movement. They're coming in from the right-hand side. More reinforcements. The Germans have decided to discretion for this part of Ireland.
Some of this incoming must be from the British and the Allied Pacific out of the English Channel to fire shells against the cloud, bang, about explosion. Must be very unnerving for the Germans who will continue to fall back. The pincer movement is almost complete. We can see the Americans on the far side. Now it becomes an interesting fight. Well, they used to say they think it's all over. It's all over for the. It's all over for the German defenders. The Allied armour is almost completely sporadic firing. Now the silence descending upon the battlefield. There's still that's what Hampton.
The Allies won another
Index. That, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. Very well carried out. Beautifully choreographed.